And how much, Rita, do you think, I mean, we watch shows like The Crown, and there have been movies and so on made about the Queen and the royal family. They tend to portray her as not very bright, a little bit out of her depth, and which is clearly laughable, particularly The Crown's current portrayal by Olivia Colman. But how canny do you think Elizabeth, her full name is Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Saxe-Gottenberg, how canny and smart an individual do you think she is?
Oh, she's obviously an intelligent woman. You cannot she could not be lucky enough to do what she's done just based on your minders and those around you. She's and the world leaders who have met her, those who brilliant minds who have had the privilege of spending time with her, I haven't heard any of them question her intelligence. So some of those representations that might be there in pop culture, I think, are pretty unfair. And above it all, what James touched on there, that sense of duty. Now, that is something I think we may lose. I think Prince William has it and Kate has it, but I do worry about our current culture, whether most would be more leaning towards a Harry and Meghan type, where they think, you know, the fact that we've got a royal title and we're famous, that is enough. We shouldn't have to turn up to these boring meetings and all the duty part of it that isn't glamorous. And so I do fear for the future of the monarchy. I don't think it's going to be as strong after Queen Elizabeth as it has been during her reign. I think it's going to be a real challenge.
No question. James, Queen Elizabeth has the knack of touching her handbag in a certain way when she wants to signal to her courtiers that she's bored with the person she's speaking to. How often do you think she's been touching that handbag recently?
I imagine she's probably got a fairly raw spot on it. But, you know, I just want to go back to what Rita said, too. You know, she mentioned The Crown. And, you know, I thought The Crown was brilliantly done, and it was also disgraceful, because I thought that the way that they treated the whole idea of being a royal and, you know, made everybody who stood up for traditional values and the service part of the equation versus the, oh, just do what you feel part of the equation. You know, that was the great tension in that whole miniseries. And they, of course, came down entirely on the, oh, how terrible and cold and traditional and, you know, horrible are these people and their advisors and their minders, when, in fact, everybody just wants to go be free and easy. Well, you see what happens when you go down the free and easy path. You wind up with royal sex scandals, you wind up with Harry and Meghan, you wind up with Jeffrey Epstein, you wind up with all sorts of things. And I think that, you know, there needs to be that idea of just doing things not because it feels good, but because it's the right thing to do. And I think that's what the Queen embodies. And when we lose her, we lose one of our last tethers to that, just become this sort of, you know, more individualist, more materialist, more in it for ourselves society.